even as much as IMF was extending the credit to us, for example, they downgraded Kenya's risk profile from moderate to high risk of debt distress. Doesn't this bother you as the CS?
But you also need to confirm that overall our debt sustainability is, our debt is sustainable. And you know, the idea of downgrading was temporary because the measure of debt sustainability analysis, you are looking at the debt to revenue, export on the ratio of, debt. It's clear that, not only Kenya, but all over the world, export has actually drastically dropped. And our revenue has also gone down. But for us, this is temporary.
Okay.
And already we have a trajectory of now export now finding upward, growth of export. But at the same time, our revenue is slightly improving because we have now opened the issue of import. We are now slowly opening businesses. And all those areas that have actually slackened are now on the path and process of coming back.
Okay.
So these are very temporary measures, but IMF actually indicated as total based on the overall, they said our debt sustainable. Our debt is highly sustainable.
I see.
Yeah.
And still on the matter of debt sustainability and really in terms of revenues, which you say the trajectory is looking up. But I'm worried. When I look at the budget books in the National Treasury website, if you look at the financial year 2020-2021, we're expecting to spend up to 900 billion shillings in terms of interest and redemptions on public debt. What that means is that in a year where we raise 1.6 trillion shillings in tax revenue, as we typically do, out of every 100 shillings you raise in tax revenue, 56 shillings goes to servicing debt. That's not a comfortable position, CS.
But you're only looking at only one side of it. Is that how much are we achieving in form of running government? And how about development? There has to be a mix in terms of what we can, because we cannot generate, we cannot stimulate the economy, we cannot run the economy when there's no expenditure. And for us to have expenditure, therefore the economy has to be growing. And the economy can only grow if we invest in those areas that's going to produce actual results. We have a trajectory to make sure that, as much as we borrow, we are now going to reduce on our payments over a period of time. Mm-hmm. And those systems are already in place. That's why we are now substituting, commercial debts with multilateral debts. Okay. And it's a process that we have given ourselves. And the solution lies with how best we are going to manage our own expenditure. Okay. And that's what we have done, is that we have a process over the next 4 years, yes, to reduce budget deficit from what it is now, okay, to less than 3%. Right. So that the reason to borrow, mm-hmm, the appetite to borrow will be limited. Okay.